welcome to another edition of Living in Shelby Township. We're here at Curtis Cemetery with Hillary Davis, a board member on the Shelby Township Historical Committee. Hillary, thank you so much for meeting with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So this cemetery is just kind of tucked away and it's off the beaten path almost. I didn't even know it was here. Tell us a little bit about the cemetery.
Well, this is Curtis Cemetery, and it's one of 7 cemeteries in Shelby Township. It was established in the early 1800s.
Wow.
And it has, it was a family burial ground for some of the earliest settlers here in Shelby Township. For instance, Jeremiah Curtis,
yes,
who, this is his property, this was his property, and he donated a little patch of his farmland for the local families to use as a burying ground.
So it's not just the Curtis family that's here.
No, you get names like Burgess, some of the...
We know the Burgess
yes,
name here.
and Wells, and Monfort. So
wow,
a lot of the original settlers of Shelby Township and some of their descendants are buried here.
So this really is historical.
Yes.
Is it considered a historical landmark here?
Not
Okay,
necessarily. It's a local historical
yeah,
landmark if you want. Yes.
And I mean, looking around these graves, some of them are just so beautiful and so
Yes.
unique. Or
Yes.
if someone wants to come visit, what should they come see?
I would recommend, gosh, it's hard to pick which
Right?
one. I mean, you can learn so much from just reading the carvings on these, and it tells, you can get a little bit of information about how they lived and how they died and kind of how tough life was back in the early 1800s when they were first here. So take a few hours and look at all the stones. You can learn quite a bit, and it's very interesting.
And I did notice there's one area that's fenced off. Is there a reason for that?
It's probably just a family plot, and that's fairly common in these old cemeteries. You'll see a fenced off area where it's just a family and they wanted to have a special area for themselves.
Yeah. We actually, I loved, right before we started talking about this grave marker, we talked about a little tiny stone that's next to it. And I thought it was really interesting. So tell us a little bit about that.
You mean the marker, the one that, yes, it's sort of like a boundary marker, and most cemeteries have them where a family will set off a certain area, you know, or maybe, you know, like maybe 20 feet by 20 feet. And in order to let other people know that it's theirs, they'll put in one of these markers, and it might have, for instance, this has a C on it for Curtis. So everybody knows who, you know, wants to come in here and bury, well, not anymore, but they would know that this was the Curtis plot.
You said not anymore, so nobody is being buried here
No,
as
not
of
that
recent.
I know of. No, not that I know of, no.
Wow. Was there anything else about the cemetery we should know if we want to come visit, take a walk around respectfully?
Yes, there are some graves of veterans here. For instance, Jeremiah was a veteran of the War of 1812, and on Memorial Day or Veterans Day, people come through and put flags in front of all the veterans' graves. There's a couple other graves of men who fought in the Mexican-American War, and there's a grave over there. The man's name is Samuel D. Wells Jr., and he died in 1848 in Mexico after that Mexican-American War. It says in memory of Samuel Wells, so we don't know if he's here or if he's actually still in Mexico. But they did memorialize him at least over there.
Oh, so that's so nice.
So there are a number of graves of veterans that are interesting to look at.
And this, is it the oldest cemetery in Shelby Township, or one of?
One of. The earliest stone that's known, the earliest burial is from 1819. So that's pretty old. There may be older ones around, maybe even in Utica Cemetery there might be some older ones, but that's pretty old.
Yeah, and these, I mean, they're beautiful. They're beautiful headstones.
Yes.
They're interesting to come look at.
Yes.
And why not take a little jaunt through the cemetery?
Absolutely. Like I said, you can learn so much history in these cemeteries.
And if people want to learn more from the Historical Committee, where can they go?
Go to our website, Shelby History. I think it's .org. ShelbyHistory.org.
And there's more that we don't know about. So it's really, if you want to learn more about Shelby Township, that's the place to go do it.
Absolutely. And we talk about all of the cemeteries on our website. So you can
Very
visit
cool.
all of them with some
Hillary,
information.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Visitors are welcome to our spook-filled nature center with costume characters, fun scenes, and a few trembly tales. It'll be more spooky and eerie than scary and gory. For ages 3 and up, pre-registration is highly recommended. So come on down to the Haunted Nature Center, October 19th and 20th, from 6 to 9 p.m. And if you bring a small bag, there will be treats and no tricks. Check out the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center's Facebook page for pictures to determine whether it is appropriate for your child. All children should be accompanied by an adult. So come down to the Haunted Nature Center.
Dogs, puppies, good boys, and our best friends. There's no better way to bond with them than spending time outdoors. But when it's time for them to go, make sure you pick up their poop. It prevents germs from spreading and keeps the parks clean. Thank you for continuing to make Shelby Township a great place to live.
Get your kids, grab their costumes, and head over to the Shelby Township Library for the Trick or Read program. You can make crafts, watch a magic show, and do so much more. Kyle Warsbach tells us everything.
Back again this year is the Trick or Read event at the Shelby Township Library, featuring the popular Spooky Monster Magic Show.
So they'll get a lot of laughs at this magic show because it's not scary. It's a spooky monster comedy magic show. It should have some Halloween themed things in it. And Gordon Russ is our magician. He's been to the library before and everybody's loved him, so we've invited him back to give the tricks and scare kids but make them laugh.
And be sure to stick around after the magic show for some trick-or-treating around the library.
So we want everybody to wear their Halloween costumes and they can trick or treat around the library after they finish up at the magic show. We want to see their costumes and give them a little treat for treating us with their costumes, wearing them to the library.
So how can you register for the event? Bethany gives us all the details.
So people have to register for this program, so we're offering 2 different time slots. They can either come in the morning at 11 a.m. or they can sign up for the 2 o'clock in the afternoon show. It's on Saturday, October 27th. But registration will start on Saturday, October 6th. So they would have to call or come into the library, or they can go online and sign up their children that way. We have a limited amount of space, so the first 100 children that are registered will be able to attend each show.
You can call the library at 586-739-7414 or visit their website at ShelbyTWPLIB.org. At the library, for living, I'm Kyle Warsbach.
Every year, Shelby Township is invaded by ghouls and goblins. But don't worry, it's just the annual Parks and Recreation Spooktacular. Bring your kids for some fun and games, and let's see how Stacy Sansatera got into a spooky situation.
Calling all ghosts, goblins, superheroes, princesses, and everything in between. The Riverbends Park Halloween Spooktacular takes place on Saturday, October 13th.
Starts around noon, goes till around 2. Rain or shine. We have had many years where we've had a little drizzle and sometimes a downpour, but when the weather's great, it's an awesome event.
An awesome event offering free family fun to all Shelby Township and Utica residents.
We get lots of people, it's lots of fun. The kids come in costume and people decorate their vehicles, their trunks for the trunk or treat portion of the event. We have volunteers from the Eisenhower Key Club that come and man the games. We've got Halloween themed games for the kids to play and they win prizes and stuff. The parents really seem to love it. It's a nice family atmosphere, and what's prettier than, you know, a park in the fall with all the leaves and everything. And
this spooktacular event is held at the 22 Mile Road entrance of Riverbends Park. And once again, free for all Shelby Township and Utica residents. And this year, there is a change for non-residents that want to join the fun. In addition, pre-registration is requested.
This year, we are starting a fee for non-residents. It's $10 per child. And everybody that comes to bring a child for their trunk or treat portion should also bring candy to pass out. So we'd like people to register ahead of time so that we can tell you a few days before the event how many kids to anticipate.
And if you are anticipating an afternoon of Halloween fun, the Spooktacular will prove to be the place to be.
Well, it's a great way for parents to network, and in this day of social networking, a lot of people aren't, actually out and about with their families as much as they used to be. They spend more time on their phones and in front of their TVs. So it's a great way to get outdoors, enjoy nature, and kids get a chance to play with each other a little more, and the parents get to network as well. Well, it's a great way to reach out to the residents in the area and give a sense of community.
For more information on the Riverbends Park Halloween Spooktacular, you can contact the Parks and Recreation Department at 731-0300. For Living, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Come down to the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center, October 19th and 20th, from 6 to 9 p.m. for the Haunted Nature Center. For ages 3 and up, pre-registration is highly recommended. Check out the Burgess Shadbush Nature Center's Facebook page for pictures to determine whether it is appropriate for your child. All children should be accompanied by an adult. So come down to the Haunted Nature Center.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
It's like the Little Shop of Horrors at the Nature Center. The Carnivorous Plants display shows you it's not just the Venus flytrap that likes to eat bugs. Let's send it over to Megan, who will also show you some Michigan native plants that like to munch on animals.
It's a pretty new display for us. We put in this carnivorous plant display because when most people think of carnivorous plants or plants that eat bugs, they think of the Venus flytrap, which is like the big famous one with the closing mouths. So we actually have 5 different species of carnivorous plants here in Michigan that people don't generally think about. We have the pitcher plant, we have 2 different types of sundews, and 2 different types of bladderworts. Now pitcher plants, pretty self-explanatory. They have like a cup that grows out of the ground that's filled with a digestive liquid in the bottom, and insects will climb down, and there's these little hairs that are kind of facing downward that make it hard for the insects to climb back up, and then they get trapped and the plant slowly eats them. The other ones, the sundews, they basically are the tentacle monsters of carnivorous plants in Michigan. So they have these little pads that have little red tentacles on them with drops of what look like dew on the end, which are actually their version of the digestive liquid. And that dew kind of attracts insects towards it so that they are trying to feed off it or drink it, and they get trapped. And then these tentacles kind of wrap around them and they trap them like that. So it's closer to the Venus flytrap, but it doesn't have the actual mouth to it. It's just kind of a weird tentacle looking things. And then bladderworts are usually underground or under the water, and they have these little bladders, so these little cups underneath that are tiny, tiny, you really can't see them. And when something swims by them, it triggers this little hair and it sucks water into this cup, and it sucks whatever is swimming by into this cup. And then the liquid slowly gets pumped back out, and whatever is sucked in stays in, and it digests it slowly. So basically, they have evolved this way instead of drawing nutrients from the ground or being able to photosynthesize. So their leaves have been replaced with these digestive appendages. So they don't really take their nutrients from the ground. They live in a soil that's very low nutrient soil. So we feed ours either ants or fruit flies. So they don't need to eat very much. A little bit goes a very long way for most of these plants. But they'll eat pretty much anything they can catch, especially the pitcher plants, which can catch larger insects, sometimes even frogs. I mean, the pitcher plants can get big enough that small frogs like spring peepers can get stuck in there and not be able to get out, accidentally get eaten.
Shelby Township Parks and Recreation wants to use your creative skills and your imagination for their very first scarecrow contest. Let's see what our Robert Gambrell can conjure up.
We have the Scarecrow contest here on the township grounds. First time ever. I'd like to thank Jessica Thomas from our office for putting this together. As we all know, if you've been up here for the art fair, how beautiful the township grounds are. So we're asking for family, businesses, individual groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, come on out, decorate their scarecrow, bring it here to the Township Parks and Rec, and then we're going to be displaying them out here on the beautiful township grounds. And this will lead up to October 26th. That evening when we announce the winners, and also have a movie night that evening as well. So we're just really excited to show off the township grounds, thanks to our maintenance staff, how beautiful they look, and way to cap it off with just a wonderful Halloween event.
A scarecrow contest is the perfect time to kick off the Halloween season. And Joe Youngblood has not even heard of a scarecrow contest before until his colleague Jessica brought it to his attention.
Once again, thanks Jessica for being very creative, doing some research online, looking around, and she got the idea for another Parks and Rec department out in Colorado that was doing this. So she saw that and said, hey, what do you think about it? And I said, any way to provide a nice free event to our residents, I'm all for it. And it was just so unique and something so different that people are really excited about it.
Youngblood encourages everyone around the township to come out and have a great time for the Scarecrow contest.
We are definitely expecting a big turnout this year. Being the first one and looking at Facebook and the people that are calling, they're really excited about it because, just like I mentioned, we've never heard of this, either have they. We have the Trunk or Treat event at Riverbends Park, now this event, so anything we can do to get people excited about Halloween here in Shelby Township, and I think this is a nice way to do it, nice kickoff to get people excited about the upcoming Halloween season.
For Living in Shelby Township, I'm Robert Gambrell.
All right, the sun is starting to go down, it's getting a little dark, and I am standing in the middle of a cemetery, so I'm going to get out of here. But thank you so much for watching this special Halloween edition of Living in Shelby Township.